It was a Delta flight, and they were actually not even able to land. They sent them right back to Atlanta. Now, as you can see here behind me, the white and yellow trucks, that's actually where the sinkhole is. Oddly enough, John and Tessa, there's about 200 to 400 birds living on scene here in this house behind me. Oh my goodness, there's quite the backup here in the southbound lanes. If you're coming off of I-26 westbound heading towards Goose Creek, you'll be fine. There don't seem to be any delays. He's installed this new Ring doorbell, which allows him to see any and everyone who may be approaching his porch. My oxygen level is 98. When I take the mask off, that level is 97 and 36, so it didn't change substantially. Despite what either party says, one thing is clear. This picture opened the floodgates. They catch you right at the door. They've got hand sanitizer and wipes. They've also got arrows on the ground to make sure customers are spaced out properly. The judge says Macton Saunders is free to go, and according to court documents, his hearing had been pushed back 5 times, but now the final verdict is in, and the prosecution has decided to abandon those charges. If you take a look at this video here, Macton Saunders is in the blue hat. June 2nd, protesters left Lynchburg because of curfew restrictions and headed to this Sheetz in Campbell County, just outside of city limits. Out of dozens of protesters at Sheetz, he was arrested almost immediately. Prosecutors today claimed they were unable to get in touch with a witness, and that's why they chose to abandon the charges. Saunders says he is still wondering what he did wrong.
I was involved in peaceful protests. I mean, it wasn't no violence on my behalf. So that's what I want to know. What did I do wrong?
Saunders says he was out within 2 hours, but he sees the whole arrest as pointless. He doesn't know why it happened to him. I asked Saunders if he regretted going out to protest with his community, and he said no. He says he has no intention of letting injustice slide here in Lynchburg. Live and local here in Lynchburg, Alexandria Savage, WFXR News. As you can see right now behind me, one of the homes has been brought down at this time and demolished. Roanoke Fire EMS brought in some heavy machinery to help with the investigation and to bring down that home. Neighbors say the victim made sure his girlfriend got out, but couldn't get out himself. Roanoke Fire EMS has not released his name yet. Firefighters say they found the victim on the first floor of the home he was in towards the rear, and they say he must have gotten disoriented. One minor injury was also treated at the scene. Neighbors say those who saw the fire warned others. First responders say it was that quick action that may have saved lives.
I think they did exactly the right thing, trying to alert people from banging on the front door, but, certainly not going into the house, right? Because that's what we don't want people trying to effect a rescue and conduct a rescue themselves, but certainly alerting their neighbors and others in the community.
The 2 homes were being serviced by fuel oil tanks. Authorities say you could smell the fuel in the air, but no official cause has been determined at this time. The investigation is ongoing. Now, we will keep you updated on air and online. Live and local in Roanoke, Alexandria Savage, WFXR News. Arrest warrants have been filed in D.C. for 2 Rocky Mount police officers, and neighbors here say that tensions are at an all-time high here in Franklin County. Now, according to those warrants, the 2 officers face 2 charges each: knowingly entering or remaining in a restricted building without lawful authority, and violent entry and disorderly conduct. Earlier this week, both officers released statements to me. Jacob Fracker saying in his, "I do not and probably will not ever understand why my expression of grief against what very many Americans would consider tyranny got turned into a racial debacle." And Thomas Robertson claiming, "I was in a place that I was let into by Capitol Police, who gave me a bottle of water and told us to stay within the roped areas." Now residents in Franklin County are split on whether or not justice is being served.
It's unfortunate, but I'm sure they just got caught up in the heat of the moment. And there was people there that was doing the rushing, and there was already people set there to do whatever damage it's going to do. I'm sure they just, when the gate was open, it's like cattle, they just drove on in.
I do feel like justice is going to be served. A lot of our cops here feel like they have immunity to the justice system, but they were proven wrong, so satisfying.
Rocky Mount Police did not offer any more than their 2-sentence press release, which you can find on our website. Town officials did not wish to say anything further. Now, I did reach out to both officers via Facebook, and it seems that both of them have deactivated their accounts. Live and local in Rocky Mount, Alexandria Savage, WFXR News. Sleep-In staff say that 90% of the people staying here are locals and that their phones have been ringing off the hook. And those that are from out of town say because of the weather, they're finding it impossible to find a place to stay for more than one night.
Come on, buddy. We came down here because I work closer to here. So we've been in hotels since Saturday night. And we've jumped from hotel to hotel because of limited availability in the rooms. And this is our, third hotel? And then we have one more after this.
Father of four, Jeremiah Bunker, and his wife have traveled about 300 miles since their power went out.
We have no power right now. There's some lines down. There's a line down in the street across from our house.
With children in tow.
Getting them all together, packing, unpacking, you know, getting food and supplies and different things like that. So yeah, it can be very frustrating.
And they have no idea when their power will be back.
My biggest concern is coming back home, and we already have some trees down on the side of our house, but there's this one big tree I'm concerned about falling on the house.
But they're choosing to stay positive.
We're luckier than most because a lot of people don't have that and they're without power right now. So we are lucky in the fact that we were able to, you know, get the hotel room.
Kenny Bowes, who lives here in Danville, had a little more trouble finding a place for his family to stay.
We've called numerous places as far as into Gretna, Chatham, actually Roxborough, North Carolina, Yanceyville, Reidsville, Eden, here in Danville. Everything is completely booked.
And the prices, he says, are up.
Hotel rooms are pretty much booked and the fare is up probably another 20-30% on top of what the original fare is.
Now, Bowes says he was able to find a place to stay for his family tonight, but tomorrow the search continues. Local in Danville, Alexandria Savage, WFXR News.